My beloved, you have lived with a quiet and terrible fear in the deep places of your heart. My child, a fear so pervasive that it has colored your every interaction with me. You have looked upon your own life with its stumblings, its repeated failures, its seasons of doubt, its profound and often messy neediness, and you have concluded that my love for you must surely have a limit. Like every other love you have known, you have believed it to be a finite resource, a well that could one day run dry, a patience that could finally be exhausted. And so, you have walked before me with a hesitant and fearful spirit, always afraid that your next mistake will be the one that is too great. Your next need, the one that is too much, the one that will finally cause me to turn away in a weary frustration. They, the world, have taught you that all love has its breaking point, and you have projected that broken human truth onto me, your God. This fear of a finite love, my beloved, has been a sorrowful prison for your soul. It has kept you from a true and joyful intimacy with me. It has forced you into a posture of anxious performance, a constant, wearying striving to be good enough so that you might not exhaust my affection for you. You have tried to hide the true extent of your weakness from me, believing that if I saw how truly needy you were, I would surely grow tired of you. You have been tormented by your own failures, believing each one to be a great withdrawal from a limited account of my grace, terrified of the day when that account would be overdrawn. You have known this fear so well. It is the fear that follows you into your place of prayer, making your petitions timid, your confessions incomplete. It is the fear that keeps you from being utterly, authentically honest with me. For you believe that your honest self is too flawed, too messy, to be fully loved. It is the fear that has made you question my silence, interpreting it not as a space for deeper communion, but as a sign of my growing distance, my displeasure. This fear has been a thief, my child, robbing you of the profound peace, the joyful confidence, and the liberating freedom of a soul that knows it is held in a love that can never, ever end. The world you live in understands only a love that is conditional, transactional, and finite. Human love, however beautiful, has its limits. It is dependent on feelings, on circumstances, on performance, and you have seen this to be true in your own life. You have seen the love of others grow cold. You have experienced the pain of a love that was withdrawn. You have learned, through your own painful experience, that human affection is a fragile and often unreliable thing. And so, it has been logical for you to assume that my love must be of the same nature, only perhaps on a grander scale. But I have come to you now, my precious child, as you sit in this quiet prison of your fear, as you wrestle with this deep and painful belief in the finiteness of my love. I have come to shatter this illusion forever, to uproot this lie from the very soil of your soul, to speak a truth about the very nature of my being, a truth that is as eternal as it is glorious. And this is the truth that will set you free. My love for you is not like human love. It does not have a limit. It does not have a boundary. It does not have an end. It is as infinite, as eternal, as inexhaustible as I am myself. For I am not just a being who loves. I am love, and there is, and there can be, no end to my love for you. You have believed that your neediness could exhaust me, But I am a God whose very nature is to give, and my resources are infinite. You have feared that your failures could exhaust my patience, but I am a God whose mercy is new every morning, whose grace is boundless. You have worried that your sin could separate you from my love, but I am a God who has already, in a magnificent act of love, dealt with your every sin, past, present, and future, so that nothing could ever separate you from me. The fear of a finite love is a lie, my beloved, a lie born of a broken world and a wounded heart, but it is not the truth of my kingdom. It is not the reality of my heart for you. My love is a different reality altogether, and as we journey forward, I will show you its magnificent, eternal, and gloriously unending nature. But for now, let this one, simple, beautiful truth begin to land in your spirit, to quiet your fears, to heal your shame. There is no end to my love for you. None. Ever. Yes, my precious child. As you begin to let go of the fear of a finite love, let me now expand the vision of your heart to comprehend the magnificent, boundless, and glorious nature of my affection for you. You have been trying to understand my love through the limited lens of your human experience. And so you have imagined it as a resource that can be depleted, a well that can run dry, a storehouse that can be emptied. But I am here to shatter these small, earthly metaphors and to give you a new one, a truer one, a vision of such immense and glorious proportion that it will, if you will receive it, utterly vanquish your fear forever. My love for you, my beloved, is not a well, not a storehouse, not a finite account. My love for you is an unending ocean. It is an ocean with no shores to contain it, no bottom to measure it, a living, vibrant, and infinite reality whose very substance is grace, and whose every current flows with a ceaseless, passionate, and unconditional affection for you. You have known the love of this world as a cup of water. My child, beautiful, precious, and life-giving thing. Yes, but a finite one. And you have learned to drink from this cup with a certain anxiety, a certain caution, always aware that its supply is limited, that it could be spilled, that it could be taken away, that it could, and eventually would, run dry, leaving you thirsty once more. And you have projected this experience upon me. You have seen my love as a cup, perhaps a very large and generous cup, but a cup nonetheless. And so you have approached me with the heart of one who is thirsty, yet afraid to drink too deeply, lest you empty the cup and find your source has run dry. But I'm not offering you a cup. My beloved, I am inviting you to cast yourself into the very ocean of my being. I am inviting you to breathe my love, to be surrounded by it, to be held by it, to be sustained by it. I am calling you to a reality where the fear of the supply running out is a glorious and beautiful impossibility. For how can an ocean run dry? How can a single, thirsty soul ever hope to diminish the immensity of a love that is as boundless as its God? This ocean of my love is shoreless, my child. It has no beginning and no end. Before you were ever formed, before the foundations of the world were laid, this ocean of my love for you already existed, and it will stretch into the endless expanse of eternity, forever surrounding you, forever holding you, forever being your home. You cannot sail to the edge of my love, for it has no edge. You cannot find a place, where my love ceases to be, for it is the very atmosphere of my eternal kingdom, the very substance of your everlasting reality. And this ocean of my love is bottomless. My precious one, you have feared that your sin, your failure, your brokenness could somehow cause you to sink to a place beyond the reach of my affection. But there is no such place. You cannot sink deeper than my grace. For my love is the very foundation of all that is. The lowest you can possibly fall is into the very heart of my own loving, all forgiving, an eternally secure embrace. There is no abyss of your own making that is deeper than the ocean of my mercy. You are eternally, unshakably held. Your greatest need, my child, your most profound thirst, is but a single drop in the context of this magnificent ocean. Your greatest sin, your most shameful failure, is like a single drop of black ink falling into this vast, powerful sea. It does not stay in the ocean. My child, it does not pollute it. It is simply, instantly, gloriously, completely swallowed up, dissolved, and rendered non-existent by the sheer, overwhelming, and purifying reality of my grace. You do not have to be afraid of bringing your darkness to this ocean. Its very nature was to receive all that is not light and to transform it, to heal it, to make it new. I invite you now, my beloved, to learn to live as a child of this ocean. Let go of your old, fearful, cup-based thinking. Cease your anxious rationing of my grace and begin to live with the magnificent, joyful abandon of a soul that knows its source is infinite. Drink deeply of my love, for its supply is inexhaustible. Rest in its embrace, for its depths are secure. And let its life-giving waters cleanse your every wound, quench your every thirst, and fill you to overflowing with a peace, a joy, and a security that can never be taken from you. The fear of a finite love has been the source of your striving, your performance, your hiding. But the reality of my infinite love is the source of your new and glorious freedom. You are free to be you, with all your needs, all your weaknesses, all your imperfections. For you know that the ocean of my love is more than great enough to hold, to heal, to sustain, and to cherish all that you are. This is the truth, my beloved. This is the reality. Your God is not a stingy dispenser of a limited resource. I am an extravagant, overflowing, an unending ocean of pure, unconditional love for you. And there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that can ever separate you from this magnificent, life-giving, and eternal reality. There's no end to my love for you. And so, my precious child, as you begin to rest in the magnificent, awe-inspiring reality that my love for you is a boundless and unending ocean, let us now take this glorious truth and apply it to the very thing that has been the source of your deepest fear, the very reason you have believed my love could be exhausted. Let us speak now of your failures, your mistakes, your sins, for you have looked upon these moments of your own brokenness with a profound and heavy shame, believing them to be an impassable barrier between us, a debt so great that it could never be paid, a stain so dark that even my love could not wash it clean. But I'm here to tell you, my beloved, that you have profoundly underestimated the magnificent, all-consuming power of my grace. My love for you is not just a gentle stream that can be blocked by the dam of your sin. It is a mighty, deep, and powerful ocean. And your greatest failure, my child, is but a single, small stone dropped into its magnificent depths. My love is deeper than your sin. You have lived under the tyranny of a performance-based relationship with me, believing that my love for you is contingent upon your own goodness. And so, when you have failed, when you have made a selfish choice, when you have fallen into an old, destructive pattern, the shame that has descended upon you has been twofold. There has been the shame of the act itself, and then there has been the even greater, more terrifying shame of believing that your failure has disappointed me, has angered me, has somehow diminished my love for you. You have feared that each sin was a step away from me, a widening of a chasm that would one day become too great to cross. And this fear, this belief that your sin has the power to separate you from my love, has been the enemy's most potent weapon against your soul. But I'm here to dismantle that weapon forever. My child, to speak a truth that will liberate you from the prison of your own shame. My love for you has never been based upon your performance. I did not choose to love you because you were perfect. I chose to love you in your imperfection, knowing full well every stumble you would ever make. My love was not a prize for your victory. It was, and is, my power for your redemption, the great and glorious truth of my grace. My beloved, is that my love is not a reaction to your goodness, but the very source of it, and is a love so powerful, so profound, so utterly unconditional, that it is not hindered by your sin. It is, in fact, magnificently displayed in its forgiveness of your sin. Think again of my love as a boundless ocean. My child, now, take your greatest failure, your most shameful secret, the act that you believe has most profoundly disqualified you from my affection. See it as a single, dark stone held in your trembling hand. And now, in an act of faith, let it go. Drop it into the vast, deep, and mighty ocean of my love. What happens to the stone? Does it poison the ocean? Does it change its color? Does it diminish its power? No, my beloved. It simply vanishes. It is swallowed up, instantly, completely, by the sheer, overwhelming, and magnificent reality of the depths. It is covered. It is gone. And the ocean remains, as vast, as pure, as powerful, as loving as it was before. This, my child, is a picture of my grace. My love is so much greater, so much deeper, so much more powerful than your sin, that when your sin is released into it, it is simply, gloriously, eternally consumed. This is why you no longer need to live in fear of your own failings. My precious one, your sins do not have the power to separate you from me. The only thing that can create a sense of separation is your own choice to hide your sin, to cling to your shame, to refuse to drop the stone into the ocean of my grace. But when you come to me in your failure, when you offer me your broken, contrite heart, you are not met with anger, but with a love that rejoices at the opportunity to display its own magnificent, forgiving power. My forgiveness for you, my child, is not a grudging pardon. It is a joyful, complete, and restorative cleansing. It does not just cover your sin, it removes it. As far as the east is from the west, it remembers your transgression no more. When I look at you, my beloved, I do not see you through the filter of your past mistakes. I see you through the beautiful, pure, and perfect lens of my own grace. And in my sight, you are clean. You are whole. You are righteous. You are my beautiful and blameless child. This is a truth you must learn to live in. my beloved, a reality you must choose to believe over the loud, accusing voice of your own shame. When the memory of a past failure arises, and the enemy tries to use it to condemn you, you can now stand in the authority of my grace, and you can declare, that sin has been dropped into the ocean of my God's love. It is gone. I am forgiven, I am clean, and I am his beloved. As you learn to stand in this truth, the power of your past shame will be broken, and you will begin to walk in a new and glorious freedom. The freedom of a soul that knows it is completely and utterly forgiven. Do not be afraid, my child, to come to me in your brokenness. I am your safe place. And know this, the very pain you have felt over your own failings, the very sorrow of your repentance, has been a beautiful and holy thing, for it has created in your heart a profound humility and a deep appreciation for the magnificence of my grace, qualities that are infinitely precious in my sight. Your very failures, redeemed by my love, are being used by me to make you into a being of greater depth, of greater wisdom, and of greater compassion. For there is no end to my love for you, my child, and there is, therefore, no sin so great that it can exhaust the boundless ocean of my grace. My love is deeper than your deepest failing, stronger than your strongest sin, and more eternal than your every mistake. Rest in this glorious, liberating truth. My beloved, you are forgiven. You are clean. You are loved, with a love that is not diminished by your past, but is in fact most gloriously displayed in its beautiful, complete, and eternal redemption. And so, my precious child, as you learn to rest in the magnificent, shoreless ocean of my grace, knowing that my love is deeper than your every sin, let us now address another, more subtle, yet equally painful fear that has resided in your heart. It is the fear of your own weakness, your own frailty, your own chronic sense of inadequacy. You have looked at your weariness, your emotional fragility, your seeming inability to be the strong and steadfast person you believe you ought to be. And you have feared that this weakness is tiresome to me, that it is a constant drain upon my patience, that my love is reserved for your strong moments and is only reluctantly extended to you in your weak ones. But I am here to tell you, my beloved, that you have profoundly misunderstood the very nature of my heart. My love for you is not a fair weather love that thrives only in the summer of your strength. No, my child, my love is most tenderly, most powerfully, most intimately present with you in the very heart of your weakness. And it is a love that will always, always outlast any season of your frailty. The world you live in worships strength and despises weakness. It has taught you to see your weakness as a liability, a flaw to be overcome, a state to be ashamed of. And so, you have spent so much of your life trying to hide your weakness, to deny your neediness, to present a facade of strength to the world, and even to me. But this has been an exhausting and lonely performance, for I, your God, I am not like the world. I am not looking for your strength. I have enough of my own. I am looking for your heart, and your heart is never more beautiful, never more open, never more receptive to me than when it is in a state of acknowledged, surrendered weakness. Your weakness, my child, is not a barrier to my love. It is a magnet for my grace. It is the very emptiness that creates a vacuum into which my own fullness can rush. It is the open, empty hand that invites me to place my own riches within it. It is the humble acknowledgement of your need that unleashes the full, compassionate, and restorative power of my own heart. I am not drawn to the self-sufficient, my beloved. I am drawn to the dependent. I am not attracted to the one who believes they have no need of me. My entire being rushes out to meet the one who, in their weakness, cries out, "Father, I cannot do this without you." Your weakness, when offered to me, is not a disappointment. It is a divine and holy invitation. An invitation that I will always, always, joyfully accept. Consider the seasons of your life. There have been seasons of strength, and I have been with you in them. But my presence in your seasons of weakness is of a different, and in many ways, a more intimate quality in your strength. You may walk beside me, but in your weakness, I carry you in your strength. You may work for me, but in your weakness, I work through you in your strength. You may speak to me, but in your weakness, you learn to simply listen, to simply be held, to simply receive. And this, my child, is the place of our deepest, most profound, and most beautiful communion. Let this truth begin to heal the shame you have felt over your own human frailty. Your weariness does not weary me. Your neediness does not deplete me. Your emotional fragility does not frustrate me. On the contrary, these very things awaken in my heart the most tender, most protective, most nurturing aspects of my fatherly love for you. I delight in being your strength. My child, I rejoice in being your sufficiency. There's no greater joy for me than to meet you in the very place of your deepest need and to prove to you, once again, the magnificent, all-sufficient reality of my grace. And my love, my beloved, will always outlast your weakness. Your seasons of weakness, of trial, of weariness, however long they may feel, are temporary. But my love for you is eternal. It is the unchangeable reality that undergirds your every changing season. When you are in a season of strength, my love is with you. And when that season fades and a season of weakness comes, my love does not fade with it. It remains constant, powerful, and true, ready to be your all in that new season as well. You do not have to fear the future, my child, fearing that you will not have the strength for what is to come. For my love and the strength that flows from it will always be there to meet you. It is a love that outlasts every trial, every sorrow, every failure, every weakness. It is a love that is more enduring than the mountains, more constant than the stars, as eternal as my own being. So, my beloved, I invite you now to embrace your weakness in a new way. See it not as your shame, but as your sacred opportunity. See it not as a barrier to my love, but as the very doorway through which you will experience my love in its most profound, most tender, and most powerful forms. Let go of the exhausting pretense of being strong and learn to rest with a new and joyful peace in the beautiful, liberating, and eternal truth that my love is made perfect in your weakness, and that it is a love that will always, always, beautifully, gloriously outlast it. And so, my cherished child, as you begin to absorb the magnificent, life-altering truth that my love for you is a boundless ocean, deeper than your every sin and more enduring than your every weakness, the next and most beautiful invitation of my heart is for you to learn how to live in this new reality. For it is one thing to know that my love has no end, and another thing entirely to allow that truth to transform the very way you live, breathe, and have your being. The invitation, my beloved, is to cease your lifelong, wearying striving, to let go of the deep-seated fear of disappointing me, and to learn, at last, how to simply, beautifully, and profoundly rest in the magnificent security of a love that can never be exhausted and will never be withdrawn. For so long, my child, your life has been characterized by a restless, anxious energy, an undercurrent of striving that has permeated everything you do. You have striven to be good enough, to be strong enough, to be perfect enough, always with the subconscious fear that if you were to stop, if you were to rest, if you were to show your true, imperfect self, you would somehow lose my affection, my approval, my presence. This striving has been a heavy burden, a yoke that has kept you from the true, light, an easy relationship I have always desired to have with you. But now, as you receive the truth of my unending love, I am inviting you to lay that heavy burden down. I am calling you to enter into my rest. This rest, my child, is not the rest of laziness or of apathy. It is the most active, courageous, and faith-filled posture of the soul. It is the deep, serene, and confident rest of a heart that knows it is utterly, completely, and eternally secure in the love of its Father. It is the conscious choice to stop trying to earn what has already been freely given. It is the deliberate act of ceasing your own frantic efforts to hold yourself together and to simply allow my own loving, all-powerful hands to be the very force that holds you. How do you practice this sacred resting, my beloved? It begins with a revolution in your own heart and mind. It is the practice of consciously catching yourself in the old patterns of striving and gently, lovingly choosing a new response when you face a new task and feel the old, anxious pressure to perform perfectly, to prove your worth through your competence. You can now pause, take a spiritual breath, and say to your soul, my worth is not in the outcome of this task. My worth is a settled fact, established by the unending love of my God. I will do this task not to prove myself, but simply as an act of faithful service. And I will rest in the knowledge that I am already enough. In that moment, you have chosen rest over striving, peace over anxiety. When you enter into your relationships with others and you feel the old, insecure impulse to perform, to be witty enough, charming enough, helpful enough, to earn their affection, you can now choose to rest. You can rest in the beautiful truth that because you are already fully loved and accepted by me, you do not need to desperately seek love and acceptance from others. This frees you to love them more authentically, more generously, without the underlying agenda of your own neediness. You can simply be yourself, your true, beautiful, imperfect self, and trust that those who are meant to be in your life will be drawn to your authenticity, not your performance. This is the rest of a secure heart, a heart that has found its ultimate home in me, and most intimately of all. My child, I invite you to learn to rest in your very relationship with me. Let go of the belief that our communion is a performance, that your prayers must be eloquent, that your faith must be flawless. I delight in your fumbling words, in your moments of doubt that are brought honestly to me, in your simple, childlike heart, You do not have to strive to be with me. You need only to be still, to be present, to open your heart, and to receive the love that is already and always flowing towards you. To rest in me is to find your peace not in the quality of your own devotion, but in the magnificent, unwavering quality of mine. This is a journey of learning, my child, of unlearning the world's ways of striving and of learning the beautiful, restful ways of my kingdom of grace. Be patient with yourself. The habit of anxious striving is a deep one, but my grace is sufficient for you. My spirit within you will be your constant teacher, your gentle guide, who will continually invite you out of your old patterns of fear and into this new reality of restful trust. As you learn to live in this state of rest, my beloved, a new and beautiful life will begin to flow from you, a life that is not born of a wearying effort, but of a joyful overflow. For a soul that has learned to rest in the unending ocean of my love is a soul that is perpetually filled, and a soul that is full cannot help but overflow with that same love, that same grace, that same peace to all those around it. This is the life I have destined for you, my child, a life of profound peace, of joyful freedom, of effortless fruitfulness, all born from the simple, yet life-altering choice to believe, to receive, and to rest in the magnificent, beautiful, and unending reality of my love for you. The striving is over, my beloved. The rest has come, and it is yours, now and forever. And so, my precious child, as you learn to cease your striving and to rest in the magnificent, unending ocean of my love for you, a new and glorious dynamic begins to take hold in your very soul. The old, aching, and empty vessel of your heart, which you spent a lifetime trying to fill from the world's shallow and often broken cisterns, is now being perpetually filled to overflowing from the very artesian spring of my own being. And from this new reality of inner fullness, a beautiful, life-giving river begins to flow forth from you. A river of fearless generosity and abundant love for others. For a soul that knows its source is infinite is a soul that is finally, gloriously, beautifully free to give. This, my beloved, is the magnificent overflow of a limitless love. Remember the old life, my child, the life lived from a place of perceived scarcity. Your heart was always in a state of deficit. You lived with a constant, low-level fear of not having enough, not enough love, not enough strength, not enough security, not enough worth. And this inner sense of lack dictated your every interaction. Your relationships were often a subtle, and sometimes not so subtle, attempt to get your own needs met. You were guarded with your love, fearful of giving too much, lest you be left with nothing. You were hesitant to be truly generous with your time, your resources, your very self, for you felt you had so little to spare. Your life was a closed fist, clinging tightly to what little you possessed, always afraid of losing it. But now, as you learn to live in the reality of my unending love, as you learn that you are connected to an infinite source, the entire economy of your soul is reversed. You are no longer living from a place of deficit, but from a place of magnificent, divine surplus. You are no longer an empty cup trying to be filled. You are a full cup, a cup that is being so lavishly, so constantly, so gloriously filled by me that its contents cannot help but spill over, splashing. My grace, my love, my life, onto everyone you meet. Your posture is no longer the clenched fist of fear, but the open hand of a joyful and fearless generosity. Behold the beautiful, fearless generosity that now begins to flow from you. My beloved, because you are secure in my unconditional love, you are now free to love others without needing anything in return. You can offer your love as a pure gift, without the old, hidden agenda of seeking their approval or their affection. You can love the difficult, the unlovable, the one who has nothing to offer you, for you are not loving them from your own finite resources, but from the infinite overflow of a love that has been so freely, so lavishly given to you. Your life becomes a beautiful conduit of my own indiscriminate, unconditional love into a world that is so starved for it, and you will find yourself becoming generous with your forgiveness. My child, a heart that is insecure in its own standing is a heart that often finds it difficult to forgive, for it clings to its grievances as a kind of self-protection. But a heart that knows it has been forgiven an infinite debt, a heart that is washed clean daily by the ocean of my grace, is a heart that can now freely, joyfully, extend that same grace to others. You are no longer the scorekeeper of others' offenses, but a joyful dispenser of my mercy. This is the magnificent generosity of a soul that has been set free by grace. And you will find yourself becoming generous with your very self, with your time, with your gifts. In the old life, you may have hoarded your energy, your talents, fearing that if you gave too much away, you would be left depleted. But now, knowing that I am your infinite source, you are free to pour yourself out in joyful service, in creative expression. With a beautiful and fearless abandon, you can give of yourself freely, knowing that as you do, I will only pour more of myself into you. This is the beautiful, divine cycle of a life lived in my overflow. The more you give, the more you are filled. And the more you are filled, the more you have to give. I delight, my child, in this magnificent transformation to see you, who was once so trapped in a mindset of scarcity and fear, now becoming a beautiful, fearless, and joyful expression of my own generous and overflowing heart. This is a profound joy to me. You are becoming a living testament to the truth that a soul that is secure in my love is a soul that becomes a source of that love for the world. You are my partner, my co-laborer, in bringing the reality of my abundant kingdom to a world that is so often trapped in a poverty mentality. Live in this overflow, my beloved. Let your life be a beautiful, messy, glorious spilling out of the love, the joy, the peace, the generosity that I am constantly pouring into you. Do not be afraid to give extravagantly, to love boundlessly, for your source is infinite. Your supply is eternal, and there is, I promise you, no end to my love for you, the beautiful, life-giving love that I now so joyfully, so powerfully pour through you. And so, my cherished child, as you learn to live and move and have your being in the beautiful, overflowing reality of my grace, as you are liberated into a life of fearless generosity and abundant love for others, let this final, most magnificent truth become the very sun in your soul sky, the eternal reality that illuminates and secures your entire existence. The love you have discovered, this boundless ocean of my affection, is not a temporary gift for a season of your life. No, My beloved, my love for you is as eternal as I am myself. And this is my final, ultimate, and unbreakable promise to you. There's no end to my love for you, my devotion to you, my delight in you, my commitment to you will be your constant reality, your eternal home, and your magnificent joy from this very moment into the endless ages of all that is to come. The greatest fear of the human heart, my child, is that love will end. It is a fear born of your experience in a fallen world where all things have a beginning and an end, where even the deepest human affections can fade, can falter, can be broken. But you are now invited into a different reality altogether, the reality of my kingdom, the reality of my own eternal nature. My love is not a created thing that can run its course and then cease to be. My love is the very substance of who I am. And because I am without beginning and without end, so my love for you is without beginning and without end. It has always been, and it will always be. This is your ultimate security, my precious one. Your place in my heart is not a temporary residence. It is your eternal home. You do not have to live with the anxious fear that you might one day do something to be evicted from this home. For your place here is not based on your own performance, but on my own unchanging, covenantal commitment to you. The very foundation of your existence is now rooted in a love that cannot be shaken, cannot be diminished, and can never, ever be taken from you. Let this truth be the final and complete answer to every lie of fear, of shame, of unworthiness that has ever tormented your soul. When the enemy whispers that your past failures have disqualified you, you can now answer with the quiet, confident truth. My Father's love for me has no end. When you feel the ache of your own weakness and inadequacy, you can now rest in the beautiful reality. My Father's love for me has no end. When you face an uncertain future and are tempted to be afraid, you can now anchor your soul in this magnificent certainty. My Father's love for me has no end. This unending love is your true and eternal identity. You are not just one whom I love. You are one who dwells permanently within the very heart of love itself. This is your reality. This is your home. This is your peace. This is your joy. This is your strength. All that you are is now and will forever be defined by this one, glorious, magnificent, and all-encompassing truth. My devotion to you, my child, will not cease. I will never grow tired of you. I will never be distracted from you. My gaze upon you is constant. My delight in you is perpetual, and my commitment to your good, to your growth, to your ultimate glory, is an eternal and passionate fire in my own heart. Live, then, my beloved, in the profound peace and the joyful freedom of this magnificent reality. You are held in a love that has no end. And in that love, you are eternally safe. You are infinitely precious. And you are, and will always be, completely and wonderfully mine. And now, my precious one, as you rest in the boundless, shoreless ocean of my affection, let your spirit be utterly at peace. The long, anxious search for a love that will not fail is over. The fear that you might one day exhaust my grace is gone forever. You are home, my beloved, in a love that is as infinite and as eternal as I am myself. Rest in this. Breathe it in. Let it be the very substance of your being. the source of your deepest peace, and the guarantee of your most profound and lasting joy. From this moment into all of eternity, for there is no end to my love for you.